and welcome to Learning Freedom. I'm Rachel Plant. So the question about whether it's possible to take GCSEs if you're homeschooled is an important one, and it's at the forefront of parents' minds when they're thinking about whether they want to take their children out of school and home educate them, because all parents want their children to succeed and they want those options to be open to them. So it very much is possible to take GCSEs if you're homeschooled. You don't necessarily have to have followed the national curriculum in order to take GCSEs. But it might not happen in the way that it happens in school, i.e., at 16, taking 6, 8 or 9 GCSEs in one sitting, in the way that pupils do in school. They might be more spread out over the years. There are various different ways that young people choose to take those GCSEs. So one option is to go to a local college and do a vocational course, which includes level 1 qualifications and level 2 qualifications. So an example is a college near me. They do a vocational course and qualification in animal care. So alongside studying animal care and doing the practical experience, they also take a GCSE in maths and English. And obviously there's the option to go on to further study and continue with that. Some young people who have been previously home educated will decide that they're going to go to school to do their GCSEs. It might be that they've been out of education, the education system for a few years, being educated at home, and then they decide that they want to go back in to do their GCSEs and possibly their A-levels as well. So that is another option. Often home educated children will start to do GCSEs earlier than 14. So they might start at 11, 12, 13 and maybe just do one subject in the first year and really focus on that, and then do one or two the next year and spread them out in that way, so that there isn't the pressure on the child to cram all of this knowledge into 2 years, and so it's less stressful, and there's less financial pressure on the parents as well, because there isn't actually any financial support from the government with funding GCSE exams. So you do have to fund them yourself. So if the cost of those is spread out over a few years, that can really help to make it affordable, especially if you have more than one child. So if you do decide that your child is going to take GCSEs, they would have to be IGCSEs, and these are similar to GCSEs, but they don't have the coursework component that GCSEs do, because you're only able to go and sit the exam. You're not able to have your coursework assessed if you're doing it outside of a school. So that's the option that's open to you. In recent years, GCSEs have actually been changed so that there is a lot less coursework than there used to be. So now there isn't that much difference between IGCSEs and GCSEs. So even in subjects like science, where if you were in school, there would be lots of experiments and the practical work that you would need to do and coursework, you are able to just do the theory side of it if you're studying for an IGCSE in science subjects. So the thing with taking GCSEs at home is you have got the option and the flexibility to just focus on the one subject, especially if you're only taking one subject at a time. And anecdotally, I have heard of some children just studying for 6 weeks and passing a GCSE, because when you are getting one-to-one tuition from your parent, and you don't have all of the other subjects to focus on and all of the other distractions that happen in school, when you can just get down and do a few hours work a day, then you're able to get through all of that work a lot quicker, and so be exam ready in a shorter space of time than you would be in school. So every case is different regarding ability and aptitude for taking GCSEs. Of course, all children are different, but it definitely is possible to pass the GCSE if you haven't followed the national curriculum up till that point. Often children are, it depends on, when they're developmentally ready to be able to take on certain knowledge and to be able to study in certain ways. So, there will be some children that will be able to just come to a textbook having never necessarily studied a subject before, or not studied it in a formal way, like in school, and they will be able to pick up a textbook and be able to absorb that information and make sense of it. So I'm not saying that's true for all children, of course. Children learn differently, but it is possible. It is possible that you don't need to have followed the national curriculum. So yeah, I've also heard anecdotally of children not having any qualifications at all and still having been accepted onto university degree courses based on their interview with the university and or a portfolio of their work. So often homeschooled children they learn in different ways. They kind of they can be more open to ideas and be able to think in more flexible ways, and that this can come across at interview. This can be picked up on. And also, being homeschooled can give you the opportunity to really run with something that you're interested in. If you've got an interest in art, you can really, really go for it and really master the subject, or whatever subject it might be. You can really devote your time and your energy into getting really good at that subject. And so, yeah, there are cases, it is possible to get onto a university course having not passed any of the traditional qualifications. And again, I'm not saying that's the norm. I'm not saying, that anybody should assume that is going to be possible, but it has happened. I have known that has happened. So that's an overview of how how it is possible to do GCSEs if you homeschool. I'm not at that stage myself. My daughter's still only 8 years old. I just have this knowledge from being around the home educating community for a number of years and doing my research in preparation for when she gets to that age. I think we'll probably start early and just do 1 or 2 subjects in subjects that she enjoys for the first year or so, and see how it goes. So yeah, I hope that was useful. If you have any questions relating to any of this, you're welcome to email me, and I will put my email in the comments section below. I've also written a free guide, which is for parents who are thinking about homeschooling, and it's 5 frequently asked questions, and it includes the question about GCSEs, as well as the legalities of homeschooling, whether you need to follow the national curriculum, how your child can make friends and socialise, how it's possible to be able to combine working from home and homeschooling, as well as GCSEs and all of the questions that I've addressed today. So the link to that guide is in the comment section as well. And if you want to see more content like this about homeschooling, then like and subscribe.